Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Friday night, and it is time for another wonderful live stream for our beloved Noel ComiX YouTube channel. Tonight I thought it would be fun to start us off with some Christmas Nights into Dreams. It is December 4th. This is getting to be my favorite time of year, as evidenced by the Christmas tree and stockings hung by the stairway with care. So, we all know that Santa Claus soon will be here. So, very, very good stuff. Hey, International Channel 4 Life, how's it going? So, I was just telling the stream that we are going to start off by playing a game that I thoroughly enjoy for the Sega Saturn, and that, my friends, is the Christmas Nights into Dreams. It's a dream paradox, is what it is. So, and I'm a big fan of Sega Saturn. I'm an even bigger fan of the Japanese packaging on Sega Saturn video games that really puts the American packaging to shame. Konnichiwa, Diego-san. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, we're going to start off with some Christmas Nights. Now, those of you who enjoy pro wrestling, you may know that Sting made his debut on AEW, which was all kinds of awesome. And in addition to that, other AEW goodness, Kenny Omega, my, favorite current generation professional wrestler, has won the AEW title and is taking it to TNA Impact Wrestling. So, I've got Kurt Angle's autograph right here from Impact. And, so good stuff. So, Sting in AEW, so I'm super happy about that. As evidenced by the gigantic autographed hand-drawn Sting poster, you can tell that I'm a Sting fan. Hulk Hogan is my favorite wrestler, but Sting is Hogan's ultimate rival and is my second favorite wrestler of all time. So I'm super happy that Sting is back where he belongs on TNT, Turner Wrestling, kicking ass and looking cool. So good stuff. And once again, Kenny Omega, finally the AEW champ, and is taking the belt to Impact. It's pretty crazy stuff. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that, but what we're going to do right now is we're going to play some Christmas Nights into Dreams. It is 1996 as far as I'm concerned. So that's what we set the clock to. So we're going to strap in and have some fun with Christmas Nights into Dreams. I'm going to actually hit the lights, and we will get to gaming. So, this game's great for several reasons. First off, number one, it's Nights, which plays extremely well. This is basically Sonic on Sega Saturn in the sky. It's really unfortunate that Sonic Extreme never got made with a Nights engine, and the development team for Sonic Extreme was trying to use the engine to Nights into Dreams. But apparently, rumor has it Yuji Naka threatened to leave Sega if the American Sonic team that was working on Sonic Extreme used his engine, which makes absolutely no sense, because all they had to do was credit Yuji Naka with the engine, and Yuji Naka is Mr. Sonic anyway, supposedly, so I don't really see what the problem is, but the unfortunate rivalry between Sega of America and Sega of Japan really screwed the Sega Saturn in the United States. Really unfortunate, because I think the Sega Saturn is easily one of the best video game systems ever. It's probably my favorite video game system ever. I had this, my second video game system ever, and I hold the Sega Saturn in a very special place. So I have nothing but good things to say about the Sega Saturn. So, I don't know. I love Sega Saturn. I mean, the only reason I'm kind of delaying me saying the Sega Saturn is the best ever is because, the original PlayStation really offered a lot. Final Fantasies, Tekken, just just a whole host of Square RPGs, Capcom and Namco games. Saturn was stronger on the Capcom front, but I mean, PlayStation's library is extensive. Did you know that Kenny Omega is 100% Japanese by heart, like us? He speaks Japanese and lives in Tokyo. He's a huge fan of anime. Yes, I did know that. In fact, if you watch the Tiger Mask anime, Kenny Omega actually makes an appearance in that as the leader of the Bullet Club. He was, I think he was dating Riho. She was the Japanese women's champ in AEW as well. Kenny Omega is a very cool look. I love his in-ring style. Kenny Omega is, I think, just the coolest pro wrestler right now of the current generation. If you ask me who my favorite AEW guy is, I would have to say Sting. But Kenny Omega is my favorite in terms of the guys that haven't been, put up to legend status. So it'll be. I'm gonna have to try to watch TNA on Twitch because I don't get Access TV. And I actually checked out their Twitch channel, and it seems pretty nice. It looks like they just run wrestling all the time on it. So CM Punk should have been the guy, but WWE destroyed his booking. CM Punk is cool. CM Punk's thing is I think he thinks too highly of himself. I think there's a reason why he got into MMA, because I think he thought he was a legitimate fighter, and then he was unpleasantly surprised when he found out that he was not all that he thought he was. So Nights into Dreams Christmas edition here. This is a Nights demo disc, so it's got the first 2 levels of Nights here, and oh man, I forgot you can do widescreen on this game. That's crazy. So I was just going through there and checking out what we have. Anyway, there's this thing called Presents, where you can actually get the very first 3D appearance of Sonic. And it's basically Sonic just running around a Knight's level, and then you fight Dr. Eggman. It's actually really cool. People gravitated toward Daniel Bryan, but Vince pulled the plug on that too. Yeah, I mean, they're all like those Ring of Honor guys. Out of all those Ring of Honor guys, though, I do think that Kenny Omega's appreciation of Japanese aesthetics just makes him by far the coolest. I mean, he looks like Sylvester Stallone in Cobra. And I don't know, he's like, his moves are all based off of video game stuff from Japan. His finished move is the One Wing Angel. So I don't know, I just think he's really cool. So, I've been, waiting for, him to actually be booked like a monster, like he, should have been. His booking early on in AEW reminded me of Bret Hart's booking in WCW, where he came in with this insane momentum, and then they just kind of relegated him to, a very, credible mid-card guy with some accolades, but not living up to the potential that everyone knew he had. So yeah, it's good stuff that Kenny is the champ. So I don't know. I mean, Sonic has always had a difficult transition. I don't know if say always, but it's Sonic in 3D is tricky because so much of Sonic the Hedgehog is based on linear gameplay. Sonic Adventure is a very good game. It's very, 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 very fast paced. So in doing that, Sonic is kind of hard to control. So that would be the only real snag to Sonic Adventure. I mean, it kind of goes with the territory of Sonic being hard to control. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you compare Sonic Adventure, the 3D Sonic game, to the Sega Genesis Sonic games, the controls, I think, are much more responsive on the Sega Genesis games, in my opinion. Why am I talking about this? Because the Sonic team made Nights into Dreams, and I really do think that this is a very good way to do Sonic in 3D, because this has linear gameplay with polygonal 3D graphics, and the screen does rotate, creating the sense of three dimensions, while at the same time having that kind of relentless forward pace that Sonic the Hedgehog has and the reaction times that go with that. So, yeah. Hey, Nick, how the hell are you, man? Glad to have you here. We're playing Christmas Nights into Dreams on what is probably my favorite console of all time, the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn Shiro. If you had Nights into Dreams on your PlayStation 3, it did come with Christmas Nights as an unlockable feature. It was the Sega Aegis one. I don't think you got the Sonic I don't think you could unlock Sonic on it though. And to be quite honest, I have not unlocked Sonic on this. In fact, I think I need a new lithium battery for my Japanese Sega Saturn. Now, this is calendar specific. So, I've set this to today's date, so it is like Christmas themed. But if you have set this on April Fool's Day, you'll actually play as Riala, which is basically like the evil version of... it's like the evil Knights. It's like the anti-Knights. So basically, the whole premise of Nights into Dreams is like there's this dream world, and Knights is like this good protector of the dream world. And then there's this guy called the Wise Man, who, I don't know. I don't even know what his deal is. He just wants to... I don't know. Usually the whole thing is he just wants to kind of dominate like some kind of psychotic, destructive megalomaniac and, kind of create a world of nightmares. Riala is basically his right hand. So that was extremely close. If we ran out of time there, Elliot would have fallen out of Knights and would have been just kind of traversing this terrain. And then what happens then is you have to outrun the alarm clock. Hey, Arrow, how you doing, man? I'm really glad you're here. Hopefully we're all ready for the weekend. And, I am certainly getting in the Christmas spirit. I honestly have, like, every day say to myself, I'm going to watch a Kathy Lee Christmas special on YouTube. Because I have this memory of, like, sitting in my living room in 1997 and watching a Kathy Lee Christmas on my antenna TV, because that's all that came in, and just the warm fuzzies that came with that. It was kind of like that Simpsons with Bone Storm, except it was, serious. It wasn't trying to be funny, but it was. But in a good way. Like, I'm not like, being, like, ironically smug here. But, you get that feeling. It's like, oh, it's Christmas, and you're all warm, and it's cozy, and it's snowy, and Santa's coming, and Jesus is coming, and it's just all good stuff everywhere. So, so I just associate that 1997, 1996, I can't remember if it was 97 or 96, I think it was 97, Kathy Lee Christmas special. It's like, that's got to be on YouTube somewhere. What the hell, man? Why can't I go in there? There we go. Alright, so we got to get moving and grooving here because we're going to run out of time. Go, 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 go. There we go. I need to check out International Channel's library myself. It's boss time. Other great thing about Sega Saturn is that many of the games had that Red Book audio option on it. So you could literally just pop your games into your Sega Saturn and listen to them. So I have a Japanese and an American Sega Saturn. My American Sega Saturn only plays American Sega Saturn games, but my Japanese Sega Saturn that I bought off of a guy I met on Etsy is modded to play anything and everything. American, Japanese, and burned discs. So I play off my Japanese Sega Saturn. So what I do with my American Sega Saturn is I actually have it as a very cool CD player hooked up to a video monitor, which is then hooked up to the speakers of my record player. So I basically have the CD screen of the the space and stuff and the speakers and everything. So I have like this video CD player with nice speakers, and the Sega Saturn is a vehicle for that. So it's really cool. VHS KTEH, and you'll see it. Cool. Where would that be? So Knights, Sonic, Knuckles, Miles, Tails per Hour, and Amy round out our top 5 leaderboard for Nights into Dreams. So you can listen to the very nice Knights R&B ballad right now. So I want to kind of pump up the volume here for a second. Hold on. I don't really know what I want for Christmas, because the Xbox One and the PS5 are too expensive. Not Xbox One, the Xbox Series X or whatever the hell that thing is called. And the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 are too expensive, and there's not enough good games on them yet. So I'm really kind of wanting to sit that out, which then leaves me to just like saying like, oh, just get a bunch of cool Switch games. And see what PS4 and Xbox One games there are. I do want to get the Game & Watch. I think it would be cool to get a PC Engine off of Etsy. Now they do have a PC Engine CD combo, a PC Engine Duo, and it says that it comes that it's universal. And it sounds like they've actually loaded it full of games, but that's like $470, so that's pretty steep. But I did see a PC Engine on there for about 170, 100. I don't remember, it was like 170 or 150, something like that. But it's all modded up and RGB out, kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But Christmas is just a fun time, so. Haven't gotten anything for Christmas in a long time. That sucks, man. I gotta get you something, man. I don't know what I can get you, but I haven't gotten anything for Christmas in a long while. That's depressing. We have to, why not save a bit more money this year? Yes, Kenny Lauderdale commented on one of my Myth videos. On our Music Video Heaven video. Wait, is that Music Video Heaven? Or what is MYH? Hang on, someone's texting me here. While I don't dislike this person, I guess I need to drag her off the screen there. Kenny Lauderdale's awesome. His Charge Man Ken stuff is great. I don't know, Arrow, what do you want for Christmas? One of my videos. Cool, what video was it? What is your... I gotta check out your YouTube channel more thoroughly. For sure. I've got to be subbed to you, man. So I hope I'm subbed to you. If I'm not, I'm going to click that bell and make sure I get every subscription ring on it. I'm at... I'm absolutely wanting to be subbed to all of your channels, so I don't usually aim to get anything for myself that often. Well, I don't know, man. You try to enjoy the holidays best you can, man, because Christmas is a magical time, I mean, if you're just kind of like more chill and just want to kind of do your thing, that's cool, but you're a good friend, and I definitely want you to feel good at Christmas time. And, I mean, the main reason I say that is because freaking Sinister sent me King of Fighters game, so I thought that was really cool. I'd never had anyone do that. You know, it's like, oh, hey, I'm like, we made friends on YouTube. I'm a fan of yours. Here, let me patronize your existence here with an act of kindness. You know, a song I like to listen to at Christmas time is actually the winter level of Sonic 3D Blast. That is a very Christmassy song. It just sounds like kind of synth pop sleigh bells. Thank you for your thoughts. Regards, good to hear. Find that I can enjoy the holiday season when I don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Channel 58 was my local PBS station. They used to air anime. Nice! So, I can get a random present here, I guess. Knights. So we got something here. Damn it! Alright, Claire. Alright, so we got some presents there. That's good. Did you get my message on Friend Project? When's the last time you messaged me? Because I did get a message of yours on Friend Project, but I don't remember which one it is. I haven't checked my Friend Project messages in a couple of days. I check Friend Project pretty much every day, but I didn't notice any messages, and so I might have not seen it yet. I love Friend Project. That's such a cool site. I just wish that, I don't know. It'd be nice if they had a more cell phone friendly version of it, I guess. Like, I mean, still maintain all the MySpace coding and stuff like that, but, you know, what I would recommend is, sometimes, like, customizing your page is a little hard on your cell phone, but I don't know, it's still really cool. I mean, it's just nice to be back on real MySpace with Friend Project. So long ago I wanted to send you something. I wanted to know if you have a P.O. box. My P.O. I'll send it to you. I don't want to dox myself here. So I mean, I do talk about where I live at times, but I should probably not include my address in that online. Not that I wouldn't love some wonderful YouTuber lurking in my bushes when I... Honey, did you recognize... Did I see someone with their nose pressed up against our window while we were eating dinner? Oh, shut up. No. Yes, ma'am. That's not how my marriage works. I'm just doing that for comedic effect. So... that episode of The Simpsons, like, Homer calls up Lenny to see if he wants to do anything. He's, like, shaving his wife's legs. He's like, oh, I can't, Homer. I'm watching the game. Like, shave up, not down, you idiot. Which is wrong. You're supposed to shave down. You'll get razor burn if you shave up. You gotta go with the grain, not against it. I know this as a hairy Italian. I know all about how to stay, properly trimmed. I mean, I don't shave my legs, but, you know. The principle generalizes. It's like one thing, like, girls always complain about, like, shaving and stuff. It's like, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, go into, like, detail here, but, I mean, I have, like, I trim my chest hair and, like, a whole bunch of others, I make sure that I don't get, like, Chewbacca-ish. And as a hairy Italian dude, it's like, stop complaining, because, I mean, I don't complain doing my grooming routine, so. And I shave my head on top of it, so. And properly trim my beard. It's a whole very relaxing routine. So you can do like a whole bunch of stuff with that. I don't know, what is it, like a color guard rainbow thing or something like that? Gotta get moving and grooving here. Okay, what is it? Let's just take a look here. Cell phone friendly and 2000s internet are two things that don't seem like they'd be one sentence together, or rather, smartphone friendly and 2000s internet. Kathy Bates. Yeah. Well, okay, but like, I mean, here's like one thing Friend Project could do. Okay, so when you do blog posts on there, um, they could have it easier where you could just actually directly insert a picture to the blog post, as opposed to having to, go through all this weird kind of like, I don't know. It's not necessarily user friendly to post a picture in your blog posts. I mean, you can do it for sure, but you usually have to kind of get the image URL and all this other stuff. So, just be easier just if you could just like grab something off your phone and upload it. And definitely as someone who grew up in the 2000s, that is possible to do. Like, that was not like an impossible feat. Just to like, hey, let me upload a picture off my computer here without having to like do all this stuff with URL codes. And you're right in the sense that cell phones and desktop web browsing are kind of two different animals. So, and MySpace was definitely made before smartphones. So like smartphones weren't a thing. I mean, people had their Motorola Razors, they had their their Nokia phones. I mean, they had video games. You could text message on them, but there was not any sophisticated internet browsing. It was very rudimentary. So, definitely you sat at your desktop and you went on MySpace, and that's what you did. So, and it was nice to do that. Got the boss here? All right. Boss time again. All right, it's weird because there's definitely like Claire has another boss. It's this like kind of fat beach ball monster, but I guess I want to say it's been a while since I played Christmas Nights. This might be the only boss they have in the game. But I do know that Eggman, they use that boss for Claire at they kind of put an Eggman skin on it for the Sonic level. Nice use of Christmas sounds while they kind of to remix this boss theme. Yeah, I mean it's pretty insane that Sega didn't come out the gate swinging with a really good Sonic game for the Saturn. I mean, I understand that Sonic is not as popular in Japan as he is in the United States, but he is popular. We got the tree. We got the star. Just played a few minutes of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Got it for $10 on Steam. How do you like it? It's weird. There's things about it that I like, and there's things about it that annoy me to no end. That game's worth about $10. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I've sunk money into that game because Santino likes it, and there's things about the gameplay that I like. But there's a lot of things in terms of the music and the presentation that are lacking. There'll be shades of brilliance in the music. Character designs are very awkward. Some of the character designs look very nice, and other ones look very underwhelming. Knights is very nice. It is very simple. I love that whole merger of like manga and French illustration book that they do to kind of capture the style. I have the Wii sequel to Knights. I never really did too much with it. I didn't like the British voice actors on it. I thought that was kind of odd. But I should give it more of a chance. But I beat the crap out of the first Knights. I really liked the Sega Saturn Knights, and that was at a time when Mortal Kombat Trilogy was the cool game. So Knights was not necessarily considered to be like the cool thing, but I mean it was cool enough. It was getting sold and it sold well, and it's a beautiful, beautiful game. I mean it's really Sega and the Sonic team flexing their artistic muscles and really making a special, interesting, beautiful game. Visually, gameplay-wise, music-wise. And now we get what is this? The soulful acapella ending to Nights here. I think people got big expectations for that game, so I think that's why there's so much backlash. Yeah, because its predecessors were so good. It's like, you have Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which has, kind of crappy music in my opinion, but the gameplay's fantastic, the character roster's fantastic, artwork's great, interesting use of 3D levels in 2D, although I prefer the first Marvel vs. Capcom better. Then you got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, very, very solid fighting game with a lot of flair, good character lineup, might lack a little bit of the charm that the 2D games have, but it does its own thing really well. It's very fun to play, energetic music, it looks and feels like a comic book, so it was a very good game. It was a worthy sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I really liked playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Then, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite comes out. The characters don't look like they're from a comic book. Awkward roster. They're back to 2 fighters rather than, 3 fighters for the tag teams. The tag team action is slowed down considerably. When you tag in and out, your character just stands there, just waiting to get hit. And the music is not good. They went with heavy reliance on that Marvel Cinematic Universe weird, kind of orchestra music that does not lend itself to a fighting game, and it seems just generic. Even Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which did not have good music in my opinion, it had its own style. Like, I knew what they were going for, and I could appreciate what they were going for, even if I didn't agree with what they were going for. But it felt like unique and artistic. In Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it just seems generic a lot of the time. I mean, every once in a while, you'll get a Capcom character and their theme plays, and it's like, oh, this is a nice mix to their theme. But then it's like, they tag in, I don't know, some Marvel character, there's some Marvel level, and it's just like, boom, 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 boom. And it's just like, it's not exciting or interesting. Like, if you played the first Marvel vs. Capcom, I mean, that game sucked you in. That was like bright colors, really good music that was kind of this, poppy, J-pop, kind of, I don't know. It was almost like you were kind of like in a nightclub or a game show, and those things kind of combined with themes that were really reflective of your character. There's just not a lot of that going on, in my opinion, in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Some of it is going on in there, but it's not the focal point, in my opinion, at least from what I've played. Yeah, the gameplay is not bad, though, for some characters. For other characters, they really slow them down, and it's not as intuitive, in my opinion. Like Thanos, I thought played much better in Marvel Superheroes than he does in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But I don't know. That I'm just used to playing a certain way. Really, a lot of the gameplay mechanics comes from just charging and tapping square. The Marvel franchise was riding high, and its popularity didn't make sense that they would skimp on production. I bet Marvel fans were disappointed too. Yeah, no, I know. So yeah, this is Knight's credits here. Just seeing if we're done here or not. Yeah, I think we are. Produced by Sega. All right. I hear they eat KFC in Japan on Christmas. Get a big bucket of the Colonel. I'm kind of tempted to do that. Nah, I wouldn't have that be my main course, though. I'm Italian. We have to have fish at Christmas Eve. Aww. Do you have Lemmings Christmas? I don't think so. Ooh, more presents. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ah, Riala. Yeah, if you draw the Riala card, she screws you. Alright, good stuff. Yeah, this is, I mean, like, there is an American version of this with English language if you're so inclined to track it down. I believe it is more expensive than the Japanese version, which would make sense because Saturn was definitely more popular in Japan, and therefore there were higher production numbers on the CDs versus the United States. If you're wanting to really get in on the ground floor of Saturn collecting in the United States, you really needed to do it right around 1998, 1999 as it was kind of going out. Check out our Christmas presents here. Knights Museum. So we basically, it looks like we have some artwork stills from the game. Looks really beautiful here. Bright, vivid colors. Fantastic artwork here. So, yeah, really nice nice artwork here. See what Elliot's artwork looks like. Of course, you know, we all know that, you know, Ellen Page is now Elliot Page. So I'm sure she got the idea from this. Yeah, man, this looks great. This is just really, really vibrant stills from the full motion video scenes on the Sega Saturn game. Yeah, great. Really nice stuff. Cool. Let's check out. We had one other person there. We had like one of those little night elves. Oh, no, we have knights too. We should see what knights looks like. This just looks like different pictures of, I don't know, knights, obviously. That's all it is. So. Knights just looking sassy. The American commercials for Nights into Dreams were just weird. Ooh, karaoke. I didn't realize Ellen was a lesbian before Last of Us Part 2. Then I find out now it's Elliot and he's trans. I have no clue. Wait a second. Ellen Page was in Last of Us 2? Is that right? She was in Last of Us Part 2. Because I didn't know. I wasn't really paying attention to the voice actors of Last of Us 2. I mean, it would make sense. So basically, this is a karaoke right here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into the whole trans thing here because, you know, I've got it's a sensitive topic for students, and my students watch my thing. All I would say is I would just say value who you are. That's the best thing I can say. Who you are is a precious gift, and just appreciate it. That's my advice. And then just, whatever your choices are, you deserve to be treated with dignity. But just appreciate what you have. So, I don't know. That's what I think. But yeah, I don't know, man. Hollywood is just so stupid. They're all just, they're so, the decadence and the ennui of these people. It's just like, they have more money than anyone could possibly want, and they still seem just extremely unhappy. They're constantly looking for some axe to grind. They've been driven to utter madness by Trump's election. And I don't even think it's because he opposes their values, because quite frankly, I don't think a lot of them have values. I think he opposes their will. And for a selfish person, having your will opposed is the ultimate evil. Of course, they're beyond good and evil, so there is no evil for them. The only evil is them not getting their way. I'm using broad brushstrokes about people that I don't know, but that's the gist that I get, is that a lot of people in Hollywood are tribal, emotionally unstable, and self-centered. And that's what I can see. So, but yeah, I didn't know Ellen Page swung that way, and yeah, was surprised when Ellen Page was, going the Chaz Bono route. They should make a Sonic Christmas game. They absolutely should. Well, like I told you, man, like there is a Sonic game here that you can unlock where Sonic is just running around this level. And do you think we might have two presidents? No, I don't. I think that Trump will run in 2024 if this stuff doesn't work out for him. He's definitely got instances of voter fraud. It's just a question of, can he prove that it was enough to overcome Biden's legitimate votes? And I don't have an answer to that. I don't think anyone has an answer to that. He's playing whatever cards he can play, and it's his right to play those things. I doubt that he's going to just sit in the White House and get dragged out by a Secret Service. He said he would leave. I think they had some video of him saying that he said he's aiming for 4 more years, and if he doesn't get those 4 more years, he'll see you in 4 more years. So he'll try again in 2024 and try the Grover Cleveland thing. I think it looks highly likely that Biden will be the president, but I don't put anything past anyone. They've got people who have signed sworn affidavits saying that they saw definite, fraud and mismanagement happening around the election. And this is definitely an unprecedented and weird election where you have massive amounts of, mail-in votes, which are susceptible to all kinds of things due to the lack of accountability in terms of, when and how those things are getting filled out and by who. And definitely Donald Trump has very powerful enemies. So all those things kind of add up to, making you want to look twice at things. And the media's response to that is just screaming at the top of their lungs, this is the most secure election we've ever had, which on its face doesn't make sense, because with the amount of mail-in voting, even if a lot of the mail-in voting was legitimate, like that just lends itself to a lack of security. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. So, but I think that Trump, if Trump loses, his whole thing is, even if he knows that he lost, he wants to give his opponents a taste of what they gave him where his legitimacy was constantly questioned, and he was constantly tied to foreign conspiracies and things like that. So he wants to antagonize the people that unfairly antagonized him. And you can say that that's babyish, but I think that's what he's doing. There's a lot of double standards that are obvious in American politics. And Donald Trump's opponents, I don't think Donald Trump is a particularly great person. I think he's a powerful person who makes bad decisions. But I think the depth of his corruption is, from an outsider's perspective, not as systemically insidious as his opponents, who are very much tied into these post-World War II geopolitical formulas and this really kind of impunity-filled, kind of DC culture. Trump is just, it comes off to me as like a rich guy that wants to just, reward his friends and family and serve himself. And if you're nice to him, he's nice to you. That's my take on him. And he's funny. I mean, I think he's pretty funny. Like he's got that populist WWE performer streak to him. Trying to drag Trump by force would be hilarious. It would actually be hilarious. They need the jaws of life to get Trump out of the White House. Well done, my friend. Yeah, that would be. I think he should just do that. I want to see that happen. I just want to see the cartoon of American politics have that logical conclusion. Them getting the jaws of life to drag Donald Trump out of the White House. No, I'm not leaving. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'm just sitting and watching it. I do think that the media is not doing a good job of covering this. If I was the mass media right now, I mean, just be honest about things, right? And I mean, I haven't really heard. Mark Twain always has that expression, right? If you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. So what I do is I kind of just go online, I look at headlines, and then I try to find, people who challenge those headlines with, credible information, and see if they're being answered by the quote-unquote established sources, and more often than not, they're not. And I use that as kind of like a bullshit test. I don't know. I just kind of I'm kind of like patchy in terms of where I get my news. Sometimes it's from, people like Noam Chomsky. Sometimes it's from Louder with Crowder, and it's sometimes it's from Tucker Carlson. Sometimes it's from, socialist activists. So it's just kind of like all over the place stuff. And then sometimes it's just from the mainstream headlines and just seeing how it all kind of adds up. But I don't particularly see a lot of these people having sworn affidavits getting interviewed or having their stuff looked into. All I hear is we asked if there was voter fraud and the official said there's no, so therefore this is clearly the most secure election we've ever had. It's like, what? So, I don't know. Whatever. Honestly, I just don't care. I mean, I care, but at the same time, I'm not going to. Listen. I made peace with the fact that if Joe Biden won, I would have to deal with it. And I've been dealing with. It's just kind of back to business as usual, which is sad. But with Trump, he had, I think, bad solutions to bad problems too a lot of the time. So. I listen to Tim Pool sometimes. I don't know who that is, but I'll look into that. Very cool, yeah. I think Chomsky has been caught very flat-footed during the Trump administration, and I think that's sad because I think he's a brilliant. I think he's probably the most intelligent person alive, but his take on Trump, I think, has been way off. He has this thing where he feels like he has to be a dissident and antagonize the leadership class, which is fine. But, when he says that, when he infers that, Trump, rallies are analogous to Hitler rallies, and, he'll kind of, say either directly or indirectly that Trump is worse than Hitler because of his global warming stance, and then say things like, AOC fills him with tremendous hope. I mean, that is some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard, and this is coming from I think the smartest person of the 20th century. So I think his age, or maybe I'm missing something, or maybe he's just insulated himself, with a certain type of people, and he's not thinking as clearly, or maybe I'm just wrong, and he's just reading more things than I am. So I don't know, but I normally I'm always enthusiastically in agreement with Chomsky on many things, but not so much with Trump. News commentators on YouTube just report the news that fit their ideology. Yeah, it's true. That's why I think it's important to try to get your news from a variety of sources. And I'm not saying like you have to be like running around like getting news from a whole bunch of people. I'm saying like, don't take anything take everything with a grain of salt. And if you hear something like credible and interesting, and that claim is not getting answered, that should, make you think about, well, why isn't this getting answered, or why isn't this getting debunked? Why is this getting ignored? Why are these people kind of overreacting to counter that, but not actually give evidence against it? Like and the other thing you can do just to stay informed, listen to like really good philosophy videos, because if shit doesn't add up, that's a sign right there. They always say the most dangerous standards to live by are your own, because then someone's gonna expect you to live by those standards. And so that's really lectures about structuralism, where you can like see kind of parallels in terms of behavior and power relations. Those are all good things to listen to, because even if they're not about like current events, you can weigh current events against those things and see, well, wait a second, is there massive hypocrisy going on there? Are people not doing what they're saying that they claim to stand for? And are the events, kind of mirroring each other in interesting ways? And how do you analyze that in a political and historical context? So I think that's some interesting stuff. So, all right, what do we want to play next? We played some Christmas Nights. That was a good game. So, you know what we should do? I have a student of mine. He's always like, Mr. Pastory, why don't you do any pro wrestling reaction videos? Trevor Noah from Comedy Central tore up the Dems on their hypocritical lockdowns. Yeah, interesting. Normally Trevor Noah comes off as really annoying to me, but good for, interesting on him. The lockdowns, listen, I'm an only child and I have a job. So why am I saying that? Because economically I'm doing okay, thankfully. And as an only child, I was used to staying at home and entertaining myself. My idea of a good time was on Saturday watching The Highlander on syndicated television, and then watching WCW wrestling, and then like every couple weeks I'd like go to a friend's house or something like that. I'm used to just sitting in my room playing Final Fantasy VII or whatever video game, and just occupying myself. So I'm a very social person, but I like just being alone, sometimes, and just being with my stuff. Hey, Rogue Drums, how the hell are you, man? We just finished playing some Nights into Dreams, and now we're just talking about politics as usual. So Christmas nights, because it's Christmas time. But so it's like, what I'm saying is like, the lockdowns don't bother me. What does bother me is when I see, these heads of these states, kind of flexing their muscles and saying that, you got to do lockdowns, and then they're breaking the rules themselves. Like that, these restaurants have to close. Well, I'm going to go to a restaurant right now. Like, what are you doing, So, that's really annoying stuff. I mean, my whole thing, and I don't know, like, Trump, I'm not trying to just, like, say he's right about everything, because he's not. But if you kind of, like, look at the gist of what he said was, live your life, don't be afraid, but be careful, And I think that's generally the right way to go about things. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I just wanted to say hi. Well, thank you for stopping by. Actually, Dakota, if you hang out for a minute, not that you have to, we're going to do a little bit of a pro wrestling reaction video This is obviously not going to be live, but my second favorite wrestler, Sting, made his return on AEW Dynamite. So I thought it might be fun for us to, as a group, watch that and give a little bit of commentary on what was going through my head when I actually saw that happen live. If not, all right, cool, man. All right, well, let's stick around. And I have no idea what video game we're going to play next. Probably a fighting game or Sonic or something like that. I don't know. So, Sting AEW debut. All right. So, here we go. Let's see here. All right. So, I am a big fan of WCW and the NWO. So the wrestling on Turner Television was what I grew up with. And even before the NWO, I was a huge fan of Turner Wrestling. I used to watch WCW Saturday Night. I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan. Thought the Dungeon of Doom story was a lot of fun. So my youth was Turner Wrestling. And hearing Tony Schiavone call the matches, and Sting was always a huge part of that. So, last year and a half ago when Turner Wrestling came back, I was very, 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 very happy. And I actually really like AEW's product. You see Taz, you see Cody Rhodes. Goldust has a new look. He's in the best shape of his life. He's using his WCW name, the natural Dustin Rhodes. And so when I was watching this, it's not unusual for the lights to go out. And I was like, oh, well, what is this, And then I saw this. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know that Sting had signed with AEW. I was completely not expecting this. I just thought maybe this is just some, indie guy or just someone from, AEW with a new theme. But then all of a sudden, the word Sting comes on the screen, and I was like, wait, what? I was incredibly happy. And my son was next to me, and my wife is like, to put him to bed. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Sting is back on TNT. I mean, this is literally my childhood coming right back. And Sting is looks phenomenal shape. And this is one of those moments, it's very hard to be surprised in wrestling anymore because of the amount of information that goes on in the internet. And, the kind of the thing that you really wanted this to be when the lights went out is you'd think to yourself, oh man, it wouldn't be great if this was Sting. I mean, I know it's not going to be Sting, but it wouldn't be great if it was Sting. And then all of a sudden, Sting's name comes on there, and then Sting comes out looking completely awesome. And, just like an older, badass version of his prime self, So, yeah, they're saying this is the first time since 2001, and I saw the last Nitro where he wrestled Ric Flair, and he was in the room full of baseball bats, and just seeing, him going and, looking at Arn Anderson, looking at Goldust, and this is a scene out of, an anime or Dragon Ball, and, they're just kind of, sitting there, helpless and gritting their teeth and not knowing, what the hell is going on. Now, this scene right here is very cool, because Darby Allin is kind of like the spiritual successor of Sting in AEW. Sting would fight with a baseball bat. Darby Allin fights with a skateboard. And they both were face paint. Darby Allin actually kind of has a synthesis of the Surfer Sting and the Crow Sting going, with the spiky blonde hair and then the gothic face paint. Sting's character is also awesome too, because he was this happy-go-lucky sidekick of Hulk Hogan, and then when Hogan betrayed WCW, Sting was accused of joining the NWO, and that really made him become this person that his whole world collapsed, and then he was gonna become this reflection of the world around him, and he became this dark Avenger that was the remedy to the ironies of the world around him and the corruption, and it's just fantastic. So the fact that he is, back here. I mean, it's very hard to get excited about stuff happening in wrestling. But last Wednesday's AEW really did that. This was a monster show, and Sting debuting was just completely insane. And well, you know what we should do now? We'll watch the next thing right here. Actually, I'm gonna pause this for a minute. So wait a second. I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna talk a little bit here. All right. No, Hogan in AEW would be insane. That would be fantastic. I mean, I would love that. Hogan, I'm pretty sure, wants to retire with Vince McMahon, though. Hogan is older than Sting. I think I heard that Sting is 61 years old, which is pretty old, for this being a quote-unquote young man's game, as Booker T likes to say. But, he's in really good shape. Ric Flair wrestled well into his 60s. And it's really all about how you choreograph the match and, just being selective about things. Like Sting in WWE, they were very sloppy with him in his matches, and his matches were poorly booked. Like, I understand his match with Seth Rollins, like, he agreed to, it's like, oh, I'm in good shape, I'll do whatever. And it's like, okay, but when you got a guy in his late 50s and you throw him into a bunch of metal monitors, like these kind of video monitors right here, like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's not good. He was the matches, the way they were choreographed for him in WWE were not making him look good. And the booking to his matches, like his WrestleMania match, that was a fine match. That was like, I was really excited watching that match, and then the ending was just utter bullshit. So, Sting, they completely dropped the ball with Sting in WWE. It's not a question of him being old, and it's like, oh, well, if he had gone there earlier, they would have booked him properly. No, they wouldn't. You have absolutely no evidence of that. They did jack shit with Diamond Dallas Page. They did nothing with Buff Bagwell. The only reason that Booker T ended up, Goldberg, I think, underperformed there. The NWO started out fantastic with Hogan, Hall, and Nash in WWF. And then with their brilliance, they decided to turn Hogan face. And then the NWO lost all their structure. So as far as, WCW guys go, WWF is pretty inept with people that came over from WCW. The reason that Booker T did so well, and Buff Bagwell said this, Booker T is probably the best black pro wrestler ever. I mean, The Rock is mixed. He's like part Samoan, part black. I think he's got some white in there. But if you're looking for a pure African American wrestler, like Booker T is probably the best. So if you want to have a good black wrestler, like there's no one better than Booker T. Booker T was always one of my favorite wrestlers in WCW. He's got a cool style. He does that axe kick. He does the break dancing. When he gets up, he's just got a cool look. He's good on the mic. He's funny. The GI Bro thing was hilarious. So yeah, but no, I mean so I don't know. I think, Booker T, and plus Booker T's a hardworking guy too. So I should do vlogs for wrestling. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I should do that. All right. So Kenny Omega is my favorite professional wrestler of the current generation, right? So Kenny Omega, he was a guy from the WWE developmental territory, and he ended up going to New Japan and then really clicking over there. And he was in kind of this comedic, sexually ambiguous tag team called the Golden Lovers, and he was with Kota Ibushi over there. So that I'm not 100% on all the New Japan lore. But I do know, he ended up, the Golden Lovers ended up splitting up. And so that then opened the door for those guys to be much more serious characters and not have this kind of Billy and Chuck gimmick. If you guys remember Billy and Chuck, Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo were this kind of comedically gay tag team. So, so Kenny Omega like kind of reinvents himself as this very serious, Bullet Club guy, and ends up being the leader of the Bullet Club. He's this like, you know, really good, kind of badass, like really kind of crystallization of like a cool '80s hero or '80s villain, and then anime video game character, and he plays that really well. And he kind of rode that wave of success with his friends to kind of be right at the top of New Japan, and then helped found AEW. So I'm a big Kenny Omega fan. He, I think, reflects a lot of my interests in terms of anime, pro wrestling, and kind of just '80s swagger. So, he kind of was doing the tag team thing, mid card thing, jobbing to guys for no God knows what reason. Cause he's a nice guy, doesn't want to put himself over at other people's expenses, but it was hurting the company and hurting his career. So it's like finally they're gonna put the belt on him. It looks like, and let's see what happens. We're gonna take a little look at this match here. Omega. So, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. So, Jon Moxley is the artist formerly known as Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose, obviously popular in WWE from his time in The Shield and he's kind of like semi-loose cannon type character. So he came to AEW, made a nice splash. He's been their second champion, and quite frankly, his championship run I think has gotten a bit stale. He's a babyface. He's kind of like a Stone Cold Steve Austin light. I like him. I'm not trying to insult him. He's good, but I definitely felt like it was time for a change, and I really wanted Kenny Omega to be the heavyweight champ. And both Moxley and Omega are New Japan guys. Moxley, I believe, is like New Japan's American champion, and Kenny Omega obviously is a former Bullet Club leader, huge star in New Japan. So anyway, Omega gets suplexed into these heaters, and Don Callis is actually an Impact Wrestling guy, but it's well known that he's friends with Kenny Omega, and Don Callis, Impact Wrestling is a shell of its former self, not to be mean, but I mean, Impact Wrestling went from being the second biggest wrestling company to, now being on like Access TV, very hard to, watch their programming. But, so it's like, I just figured it's like, AEW is being nice. Impact's kind of like an indie now, and they're letting Don Callis be on there because he's friends with Kenny Omega. So anyway, good match. So Callis comes up here with a microphone. He was doing commentary with Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone, and I was just thinking, like, oh man, they're gonna have Kenny Omega lose. Like, this sucks, man. Will they let this guy be the champ because, he's so big in New Japan? And this match made Moxley a lot more interesting too, because he'd been kind of a cookie cutter, babyface badass guy for so long, and he and Omega were putting on a really good match. So Omega gets the mic, Callis slides the mic into him, which then of course leads to this right here. Yeah. So Kenny Omega is turning back into the Cleaner, his Japanese heel character. So that was super good. So all of a sudden, this is getting interesting here. So he drills Moxley with the microphone. And the fans are digging it. The good thing about AEW is that they socially distance their fans, but they actually have fans. Whereas WWE, they just don't. They have the weird Thunderdome thing. So Omega does the V-trigger here, which is named obviously after a Street Fighter V move. So he keeps doing that V-trigger move repeatedly, and then he's going to set him up for the One-Winged Angel, which is based again off of Sephiroth's final form in Final Fantasy VII. Because he gets what all the cool stuff is. So he's getting the champ up here. I was super excited when I was watching this here. So there's One-Wing Angel right there. So I was super happy when they did this here. And by the way, hearing Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone is just fantastic. I'm really happy that the big play-by-play guy from WCW and the big play-by-play guy from WWF actually are teaming up, and they're a good team. So Callis runs in there with the belt. And, he's kind of like, all right, man, let's get out of here. So it's clear now from this that Callis was in on the whole microphone situation. So they're just getting there and bolting for the door. And again, there's Tony Khan, the Eric Bischoff of AEW, so to speak. So I don't know. I was just watching this and like, well, this is kind of weird. They're just running away. And I just thought that, I don't know, he's a bad guy. He's just getting away before Moxley gets up. And, so they're just getting out of Dodge here. And then this last thing they do at the end, I was, again, like, it's hard to be surprised in pro wrestling. And Don Callis is going to say, I'll see you all on Tuesday night. I'm like, what are you talking about Tuesday night? He's like, Impact Wrestling on Access TV. I'm like, what? So check this out here.
What did you just do? What's going on? What the hell's going on here? Find out this Tuesday night. Tuesday? Dynamite's on Wednesday. This Tuesday, Impact Wrestling on Access TV. Me and Kenny will tell you all about it, Marvin.
So, yeah, this was a phenomenal AEW wrestling right here. So, kind of sick of Jim Ross, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, I think Jim Ross is overrated personally. I think he's kind of fun to listen to on his podcast with Conrad. But I always thought Jim Ross was overrated personally. I was always more of a Tony Schiavone guy. I thought that Jim Ross does have some really good calls though. But I do think that Jim Ross always kind of overacted. But I'll tell you this, when Hogan leg dropped The Rock, that's really cool that Veda Scott is on AEW Dark. She was a cool, she used to be Moose's valet in Ring of Honor. So actually I really hope that she and Moose team up again, because if AEW and Impact are going to do like a thing together, they should pair Veda Scott with Moose. That would be really cool. What was I talking about? Oh, Jim Ross. When he called Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania 18, and Hogan dropped the leg on the Rock, and he screamed, "He beat Andre the Giant with that move!" I was like, that's like probably my favorite call in wrestling. But overall, I really like Tony Schiavone better than Jim Ross. So, vlogs. I don't even know. So, okay, cool. What are we going to do? What should we play now? I think we should turn on the Switch. I don't know. Maybe we should play some Switch. Or, I don't know. Yeah, let's play some Switch. I was going to say maybe we can play some sumo wrestling on the Famicom, but I don't know. I thought to myself, like, maybe we'll play some Switch. So we'll set up our camera like so. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll get a beverage. So take a little field trip here. Show you guys the Christmas tree in the living room. Ta-da! Look at that! Look at that wonderful Christmas cheer right there. You know what else? Check out this adorable manger scene that I drew when Santino was born. Very nice. I'm tired happens when the tiredness comes into play. Yeah. No, good. That's good stuff. All right. Water. I didn't make coffee because, I don't know. Just didn't feel like it. So, maybe we should have a Marvel Superheroes bowl of water. So, I normally eat cereal out of this thing. So, look at that Noel holding baby Santino. And Cyclops, who's hanging out by the crock pot. Very nice. So, good deal. Water never tasted so good. All right, let's see what we got on the Switch here. But I'm really happy that Beta Scott's working with AEW. She's cool. All right. Or you know what else we could play? My senior year is going by fast. Yeah, it is. I'm actually surprised that, we haven't, the junior high hasn't gone on remote more often. But who am I to make decisions? So, okay. So let's turn our switch on. Let me set up the controller first, then power it on. All right. Oh yeah, King of Fighters 99. Let's play that. Ready to make a system update. The update will not take long. Okay. I hope I didn't just screw us here. If not, we'll just have a conversation about pro wrestling and politics. That usually works. Are you guys gone in person? Are you guys... Everything has been still remote. And quite honestly, I hope it continues. Yes, but I've been doing remote all year. It's half and half for Cortland. It's basically if the kid wants to come to school, they can. If they want to be remote, they can. And, that's what they're doing. So, okay, it's doing Street Fighter. We can play a little Street Fighter here. So yeah, that's what they're doing. I really like this school year so far. The kids can choose where they want to be. I've got smaller class sizes. I feel like, even if I have 25 kids in a class, but like half of them are home and half of them are in person, I feel like I get to know them more personally because I'm not just in a crowded room full of kids feeding off each other, and then feeding off each other at my expense because a lot of them don't want to be there. Now they want to be there. And everything's much more relaxed. I joke around with the kids a lot more. I mean, I'm pretty funny, so I joke around anyway. But no, it's great. But I mean, if you're asking me, I personally like teaching from home a little bit better. But I mean, whatever. I think it's just safer. Like holidays are coming up, man. Like you're gonna ruin people's holidays if like someone gets sick. So. I can't see myself holding out if I have to go back. Alright, who do we want to be here? Let's be... Violent Ken. Sorry, being a senior, I would like to be in school because it's my senior... Yeah, no, I hear that. It's your senior year. What did I set this on? This is going really fast. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I went into the menu and really beefed up the turbo mode on this here. I'm surprised that Capcom doesn't do a really high-quality 2D release of Final Fight. Extra Sleep is good, though. Yeah, it is. Well, I like the fact that when I'm fully remote at home, I don't have lunch with the kids. And I like having lunch with the kids this year because they all have lunch in my classroom. I have about 6 kids that have lunch in my classroom, which is much nicer than having to do cafeteria duty with, a ton of kids and I'm breaking up fights and all that nonsense, We just sit and we watch Boy Meets World and we talk. It's really nice. But when I'm at home, obviously I don't have to be with them for lunch, so I get like extra time to just chill and be with my family or do schoolwork. It's really not. I mean, like we've really proven that we can do a lot of stuff remotely, which I think really reduces a lot of the rat race, bullshit that comes with modern society. Because a lot of us people don't get to see their families anymore. Now it's like I think more people are getting to see each other at home, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, maybe some people are driving each other crazy, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's nice. I literally have kids that like being in school, which Rogue Drums will tell you is not a normal thing when it comes to seventh grade. He was in seventh grade once at my school, so school security. No, the school security. I don't want to be the school security officer. We've got a school security officer, and he does his job just fine. There we go. I thought of having to deal with the rat race. The thought of having to deal with the rat race very soon brings me dread. No, it's not a joke, man. Like, I hear ya. So, I mean, honest to goodness, I have no decision making power, but I would absolutely leave the online option on for school. Like, so many people are complaining about overcrowded classrooms. Classrooms aren't overcrowded anymore because the kids have a choice. All these people are talking about like student choice and this and that. Students now have a choice in terms of where they want to learn. So I don't know. Like the thing that's going to make people upset is that if you're a type of teacher that does more like project based, group oriented stuff, that's harder to do online. And if you're someone that just lives by the numbers of like, well, what are the failures looking like? You're probably going to get some more failures of kids at home because you can't police them as much. But the fact of the matter is that, a lot of those kids who are failing at home, those are the kids that fail in school anyway. And when they're failing in school, they're dragging other people down with them out of spite. So they're much better off just being at home where they want to be and then get what you can get out of school and don't, hinder other people's right to learn and other people's right to teach, So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's the kids this year. It's just the stars are aligning, but I'm much happier going to work this year than I was in previous years. And I don't know. I think the potential for small class sizes and student choice are huge, huge benefits of this system that should not go away. And the other thing too, it teaches kids a sense of responsibility too, right? Like I had a kid today, not today, like a couple days ago. He's like, "Oh man, I don't want to be in school." I'm like, "Well, why don't you just go learn at home?" And he's like, "I don't do any work at home." It's like, "Well, okay. Now you realize the consequences of your actions. You didn't do any work at home. Your mom made you come to school." So it's like, whereas before it's just like everyone's just kind of, shoehorned into one system and then everyone just gets mad at each other because they'd all just rather they don't like doing things against their will, whereas now it's like they have a say in what goes on, and the kids that are in school appreciate what they have because they like it, and the kids at home can just be at home and chillax and do your work. Plus, as a teacher, I love the fact that I have a mute button for kids. Vaccine's coming up this month for the first group. No, it's good. I mean, like, listen. I mean, I hope that the stuff that I like about this style of teaching stays. But I definitely, I want people to be healthy. So. Nice, time that just right. Nice. Why am I not doing my super move? Yeah, whatever. Then so you guys seem to have an option. I don't think we'll be nearly as fortunate over here. So you guys are just all like remote at home. Yeah, no, dude. I'm telling you, man. I'm relaxed teaching. Where and it's not, and I'm working harder too. It's not that I'm relaxed 'cause I'm not doing any work. I'm doing more. I'm working harder than I was last year on the schoolwork end of things, but the stress is much less because the behavior is so much better because the kids can choose to stay home if they want to stay home. They don't like being in school. Um, so it's good, man. I don't know. I don't know. I just hope people see my side of things. They don't have to agree with it. Oh, Akuma. We didn't lose any fights. Nah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that Cortland needs to go remote a lot more personally, but I got, I mean, this is I make no decisions, so I'll respect whatever decision I'm handed down. And Bison looking like an Angel Fire website back there. So, Violent Ken will not succumb to the Orochi power. No, not the Orochi, the Psycho power. But with Psycho power. Okay, so they made Violent Ken in SVC Chaos look like an Orochi guy, but he's based on the Street Fighter animated movie, so that comes from Psycho power. So really nice music here. All right, let's play some KOF 99. I got this MMO RPG. It's interesting. Elemental Knights are. Oh yes, there are pros and cons. I really like remote and in person. Doesn't really matter to me. One of my faves about remote is waking up later. Yes. So, you may remember in a previous live stream we did when Sinister was here, we did a PlayStation playthrough of KOF 99. Now we actually have the arcade version. So, pop that in here. This freeze? Unable to connect to network device. What? Well, I downloaded this to my system. Why? I just can't see myself going back willingly. Not here yet. All my time in school was time I absolutely hated. No, I hear you, man. Well, I don't know. Just see what happens and enjoy it while you got it. That's all you can really do. Savor the good times. Why would this need to go on the internet if I downloaded? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'll just close out of the... Hang on. I don't know why it's making me do this here. Yeah, I hear you. It's your senior year, and you want to, be with people. Well, that's weird. I wonder why it was making me do remote. Not remote, online. All right, it's KOF 99 right here. So this was the first game in the Nests arc, which introduced the character K-Dash. It's a cool dude. This game has kind of a very cool, futuristic vibe to it. Very much turn of the millennium. Lots of silver hair and black leather. Really epitomized here with K-Dash's character. So, here's our teams. Now, there are codes you can do to be Iori and Kyo, but we're going to go with my go-to guys, the Art of Fighting team. This game plays very well on the Switch. Nice purchase here. I have never gotten to play the arcade version of KOF 99, and I gotta tell you, it is a lot. I like it better than the PlayStation version, which does have a lot of load times, and I don't know. It's really just the load times on the PlayStation version. When you have a pretty substantial load time interrupting the fights because you have a 3-on-3 situation, it doesn't lend itself to the most fluid gameplay experience. Sounds like Dakota's grades are doing well his senior year, so that's good. Yeah, it's good that you're pushing yourself, too. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, everyone's just different. Everyone's got different personalities, so some people are more extroverted, some people are more introverted, so just depends on how you're comfortable spending your time. And personally, I'm comfortable either way, so. When people complain that they're bored, though, I was like, it's better to be bored than stressed. Like, I don't want chaos. I don't want anger. I just want to be chill. The announcer of this game is kind of reminiscent of the announcer in Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter Alpha. What's ranks? But don't forget that many guys like you all over the world. And he's like, Round 1. Round 2. Round. Everyone loves a winner. I'm freaking irresistible. Found myself more extroverted, smaller circle. Yeah, no, for sure. This game looks very nice on this TV. The amount of pixel detail that SNK puts into their games is really something. And you really get to see every little pixel you know, on a TV like this. Really nice. This game also introduces the helper character, Striker, to King of Fighters, something that had been well known in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I think I just actually saw a trailer for King of Fighters 15, so that should be good. I don't know if I saw the trailer or if I just saw a picture on social media of someone posting a logo of KOF 15 and it said something about a trailer, but I didn't watch it though. So I should rephrase what I said. Are you ready? Another part of me is tempted to get a Neo Geo CD. Just to see this different CD takes on some Neo Geo games. Should I buy a game like every week? No, not anything expensive. Sometimes that's correct. Sometimes it's not. I actually just bought Konami's YY World. And it's an English translation from Etsy from a guy that I know. So I mean that's and that guy, he does really good work, but it's kind of expensive. But then a lot of the time I just like to buy, you know, $5-10 games on the Switch, and you know, just chill. I've also been trying to play Final Fantasy VII Remake more. I'm enjoying that. You know, I've downloaded some Japanese cell phone RPGs onto the Switch so that I can just kind of play on the big TV. So I'm happy about that. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of like I don't know if I always buy a game every week, but I definitely make a purchase at least every 2 weeks. Ooh, countered with his own. Alright, there we go. Last game I downloaded on that was Xenoblade Chronicles Remake. I just haven't tackled that one yet. I want to say I have Xenoblade Chronicles on the DS and on the... I think I have that on the Wii, too. You know what's a good RPG that I haven't played in a while? Chrono Cross. Yeah. Felled by Freddy Krueger here. Here comes Rio. Man, can we hold still? There we go. Music in Chrono games are of impeccable quality. You got that right, man. The best one there is Robo's theme. You know why? Because it's Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up remixed slightly. It's fantastic. You know, for as much as people complained about these graphics in stupid video game magazines that, no one actually cares about, I think these graphics have aged extremely well. Oh, it's a little off on Yuri's super moves. Still have hearing a large portion of the soundtrack of those. Yeah, you got that right, man. And Chrono Cross is kind of disappointing as that game could be for some story choices. Incredibly beautiful music and great graphics, and I mean, I always kind of was able to tolerate Chrono Cross because of the idea of like multiple dimensions. So for all the kind of crappy stuff that happened, that's just one possible outcome to the issues faced by the people in Chrono Trigger. All right, way to go, Yuri. Skill overpowers spirit over skill. That's the secret to victory. Run to Yuri, at least. I was going to go to bed when I said, but I'm still here enjoying the discussion. Just realized that. Well, welcome. I'm happy that you're happy, my friend. Nice time with the lives. Yes. Yashinori Mitsuda in general makes solid soundtracks. Yes. This is true. So this game has a whole plot about Kyo Kusanagi getting cloned and this weird drug cartel using his clones to go spread their sinister grip to other parts of the world. And the boss of this game is a guy named Chrysalid, who does look very cool. So we're fighting in a sewer now, so that's fun. I actually do like the quote-unquote main character team of this game, because I think that Maxima and K-Dash are a cool team. Maxima being the big guy, K-Dash being the little guy. It's like one of those kind of buddy cop dynamics. Nice music in this level, too. Good work, Mr. Karate. Here comes Pornalef, a.k.a. Benny Morrow. Now, this final boss here, is one of those guys that has like two forms. That one form will come out after you defeat him. All right, well done. Kyokugen Karate is the true way of battle. Artwork in this game was a little less, how do I want to put this? Not enthusiastic, but a little more basic, but done at a very high level. Take a look at other King of Fighters victory screens. The characters tended to look a little more comic booky, I mean, this looks comic booky too, but I don't know. It's got a little bit more of a more realistic, slightly more subdued vibe to it. So many Kyokusen. Half day today. Went by so fast. Actually, yesterday now. Oh, it's past midnight. Interesting to know. Well, after we beat this game, we'll wrap up the stream. All right. This will be interesting here. So chances are our first person is, not going to make it through the whole fight. Key is just going to be to do as much damage as possible. All right. Time for his final form. This guy's like Cell. Downloads our fighter data. Gee, Cell's more born with it. Okay, so business is going to pick up right here. Because of that. So far so good. That punch has got some good range to it. Alright, we beat the game with it. Alright. Did I say Suba dude? Maybe. It's getting late. I can activate them. No, it's too late. All the clones have been neutralized. Perpetrator unknown. They'll be exposed in just a matter of time. This mission abandoned. We appreciate your efforts. What do I do now? Clone data transmission successful. Mission accomplished. All operatives will be terminated. No. Goodbye, Chrysalid. Rest in peace. You 6 psychopaths. We are the next cartel. The New World Order. Future is now. Robert, get out. Oh no, Papa. So basically this ending is Mr. Karate returning. So it's pretty fun. Let it play here. For everyone out there in YouTube land, before we wrap up our lovable and beloved Friday night live stream. Ugh. Rumor has it that AEW is getting another show on TNT. I wonder, I doubt it would be an Impact Wrestling show, but it could be interesting if they actually did something with Impact Wrestling where they had, both wrestlers had to be continued. Alright, cool. So, gang, there we have it. That is, our live stream here. We beat KOF 99, the Millennium Battle. And now we're going to, I don't know, beat another wonderful day as we head into tomorrow, as Rogue Drums have said, and the end of our live stream for tonight. So definitely stay on the lookout for the YouTube channel. All kinds of videos get posted of the live stream and non-live stream variety, so look forward to that. And thanks as always for your friendship and your conversation and your time. All those things are very much appreciated. So enjoy the start to December. You too rest well, my friend. Enjoy your homeschool, and me too. I'll enjoy that as well. Actually, what do I need to enjoy right now is some sleep, because I should get some Z's, and so should you, unless you're gonna stay up and watch wrestling on YouTube, which I don't plan on doing, but who knows. Cool, man. All right. Well, I'm not planning on doing another live stream this weekend, but I may very well do another YouTube video of some kind this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. And then next week, obviously, Friday at the latest. My birthday is coming up, so we'll try to do something fun around that time too. Okay, gang. Well, good night. Thanks for watching, and as always. My name's Noel. You take care. Bye-bye.